Hello, happy Wednesday, hump day. And here we are on our live love talk as every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I show up to talk about all things dating, relationships, love, and for all of you that don't know me, you know what is funny? 90% of the people that watches my videos on YouTube, at least that's where I get this information from, are not subscribers. They don't really know me. So for those people, my name is Natalia Hart, and I am a dating and relationship coach. I help highly intelligent, successful women to find love, to find and create love with a high value man, with a fantastic man. And today I am here talking about communication. This is a very, very important topic because I see it all the time with my clients and with the women I talk and with my own self before learning this way of communicating that really, really works with a man and connects rather than creates division. So anyway, I wanted to I get a little bit distracted at the beginning because I am on Instagram, I am on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, and I'm kind of making sure that everything is good. And but anyway, please ask me your questions. The best way to extract what is in here is through your questions. So don't be shy. That's why I show up live and I don't just record this where I can polish it and make it look good. So I am putting a lot on the line, going live every week just for the sake of getting your questions so I can help you in real time. That's the reason I do this. So please ask me your questions. And like this video, share my channel with your friends and family. Let's grow, let's make the world a great place where every single woman that wants to be in an incredible romantic relationship with a man gets to have it, and it gets to be easy. It doesn't have to be difficult. It's a lot simpler than you think. It's just making the right shifts, healing the right beats sometimes, and but most times it's not even about healing that much. It's about learning the skills and the abilities that makes you successful in your love life. If you are a professional, let's say you are a lawyer or you are a doctor or you are a CEO or you are an executive in a company, you didn't get there without going through an extensive training. You invested time, money, resources to get there, and it took a long time to get to the degree of expertise that you are today at. So in your love life, it's exactly the same thing. We do not get formal education in this area of romantic love. And if you are watching this, chances are that if your love life is not working, it's because you also didn't have good role models. That doesn't mean that your parents were bad. That doesn't mean that your parents mistreated you. It could be that your mom, your dad, or your caregivers, they gave you everything. But in this area of love and romantic love, things work a little bit differently or a lot differently than in the other areas of our lives, like could be our sports or our jobs or our careers, our health. In all those areas, things are more linear, things are more clear. So maybe you were taught by your caregivers or your education how to talking about communication. So you were taught to talk, to speak your mind, to be strong, and to speak your mind. That when something was coming up to your mind, just to share it and to come up with a resolution and come up with a plan to do this and that and that. Maybe if you have employees, when something is not working in your business, you have a meeting with your team, even if it's a team of one, and you talk about it. You look at what's happening, you come up with ideas, you give them advice, you tell them what to do, and they take it in and they go to their desks and they do what you tell them to do. But doing that with a man when you are dating doesn't work the same way. It actually works completely the opposite. It kills uh, intimacy, it kills safety. One of the main things that a man has to feel in order to really want to give of himself to you, to really be devoted to you, and to cherish you, and to feel like he cannot live life without you, he has to feel emotionally safe, which is different than physically safe. Men don't get through that. They don't feel unsafe physically for obvious reasons, although we can do some damage physically too, but generally speaking, but emotionally they have to feel safe. So the way that we have been taught traditionally to speak for our careers, for our jobs, for our athleticism, doesn't really work in this particular realm of romantic love. So that could be one of the reasons why your communication style is a little bit off, and you are not getting the results you want with a man. You haven't learned yet how to communicate to him and when to communicate with him in a way that really inspires him to rise higher, to be better for you, and to really give you what you want. So, and a big part of this, the second part of this, is social media nowadays. So when you open up your social media, either if you are on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, there is a big message out there wanting to empower women to be badass, to slap boundaries, to be strong, and to say it as you think it, and to tell men what you want and what you don't want, and how to do it and how not to do it. And that is actually creating a lot of conflicts. And the problem with that is that you are not getting exactly what you want, because that, again, as I mentioned before, doesn't work. The only kind of man that will stay with you if you are following some of the current social media advice, communicating directly, giving them advice, trying to change them, psychoanalyze them, and being very straightforward from the beginning, it's only going to attract men that are very needy, very insecure, and men that you are not going to feel attracted to. So So this is a big part of why you may be meeting men that you are not attracted to. It's because the only men that will react to a woman being in her masculine energy, aka being the boss and telling them what to do and what not to do and all that, are men that are boys, that are, like weak, that they want us to take the lead, that they want us to be the doer, they want us to be the one coming up with the dates, coming up with the plans, and they want to be the ones doing the feeling part, doing the receiving part, doing the enjoying part, and all that. And that, for 100% of the women that I coach, and my experience in all these years coaching hundreds of women, doesn't really create attraction for a feminine energy woman. We want a man that is in his masculine energy. So that is the second reason. If you have any questions, please let me know, because as I mentioned at the beginning of this live, that is how you are going to get the most out of me, by asking me your questions. And that's the only reason why I show up live. So do that, ask me questions. And the third thing that I wanted to bring up briefly today, to give you an idea of why you may not be getting the results you want with your communication style, is that you haven't been taught, you don't know yet. And I go really in depth in all this in my Epic Love Accelerator one-on-one private coaching program. If you want to know more about it, send me a message. Is that the different stages of dating. So we don't, unless we get taught the real way dating goes, we really don't know it. And dating, the process of dating, goes through different stages. And the first staging of dating is when you meet a guy. And that could last a couple of months, that you are getting to know him. So some women, they just met a guy. And if you are doing this, I am saying it with all my love and compassion. I am not saying it to make you wrong. I am saying it to help you, to give you tools and a new awareness, new perspective, so you can start being successful in your love life and have fun on dating. So in those first stages of dating, when you are just meeting him, you are just getting to know him, it doesn't matter how close you feel to him, you still don't know him. Those are not the right times to be having a conversation about what doesn't work. If you are on the first stages of meeting a guy in the dating space, where he's just meeting you, he's enjoying your company, he's taking you out on dates, he's taking you out to the theater because he enjoys the theater and he enjoys it more with you, or he takes you out for dinner because he enjoys having dinner outside and he enjoys it more with you. In those very early stages, when he's not really thinking about relationship, he's just thinking about, having a good time with you, getting to know you, taking you out places, pleasing you, wowing you. If we come up with the conversation of having the talk, or telling him, the things that we don't like, it's going to feel a lot for a man like we are a lot of work. Not because we are, and not because we cannot have these conversations, but it's because it's not the right time. We have to wait longer in the stage of the relationship. Once we are already, exclusive, and we are talking about, marriage maybe, once things are serious and he is creating a long-term relationship with you, once the conversation is on the table. At the beginning, if if you are just getting to know a guy and you are already not liking this guy and you have to have these conversations with him, the real question that you have to ask yourself is, what is it making me keep seeing a guy that I have to change? What is making me pick a guy to go on dates that is a fixer-upper? So this guy is not there for you to have these conversations with him. He is there to mirror your areas of work. Because if you are looking for a fixer-upper, that is never going to work. You are never going to be happy because he's probably never going to change. And trying to talk about these things in the very, very early stages of dating is not going to create emotional attraction. So he is going to leave unless he's very unhealthy, and then you don't want to be with a guy like that anyway. I haven't met any women that wants to meet a high quality man to create an amazing romantic story, to become their psychologist, their counselor, their mother, that doesn't feel good to us. So if you really want to be cherished and adored and evoke, inspire devotion from the right guy, these very first encounters should be enjoyable. Okay, so I am going to give you a very, very structure, or a very, very good parameter for you to know in your mind of what's going on, to compare. That's the word I was looking for. I'm going to give you something really, really juicy that I teach to my clients in my private coaching program, Epic Love Accelerator. So this is something that I learned from a couple that is they are one of the best in the United States in this area of love, dating, and relationships. They're called the Gottmans, and they have this parameter that they, through years and years of studying couples, and they came up to many conclusions, but this is the one that I want to share with you today that will help you. So what they discovered through their scientific research on relationships, on couples, that was that they could what's the word I'm looking for? They could predict. That's a word. They could predict what couple was going to get divorced and what couple was going to stay together. This is powerful. This is, I think it's 40 years of research. So this is not something that they came up in 1 year. It's years and years of research. So what they discovered is that the ratio to positive interactions, and communicating is interacting, of course, the ratio to positive interactions on a day-to-day basis, like when things are going well. So for dating, we could say you meet a guy, the ratio to positive interactions to negative interactions for their relationship to work and grow and become juicy and everything you want it to be is 20, okay? 20 positive interactions to 1 negative interaction. So, and why is this? It's because humans, we have developed a negative bias. We are always, biologically, this is an evolutionary trait that we developed over time. We are always looking for the negative part. It doesn't matter how good things are. If there is something negative, we are going to pay more attention to that. Why? Because if we were on the caves back on prehistoric times, and we were, as women, or men, they were hunting, they had to really, really be aware of any predators or dangers that were possibly putting their lives in jeopardy. So we are wired, that is in psychology, that is called a negative bias. We are wired to pay more attention to the negative, to the positive. So it takes 20 positive interactions to annulate one negative interaction. And the question that I usually get with my private clients is, what is an interaction? What do you mean by an interaction? So I'm going to answer that, and ask me questions. Type in the comments your questions so I can answer your questions. So an interaction is, for example, he texts you to come up to invite you to go out. All that thing, the texting back and forth and all that, is one interaction. Then another interaction is he comes to pick you up and he drives you to the restaurant. Another interaction. Then you go to the restaurant and you get inside and you get the table. Another interaction. Then you order food. Another interaction. So there has to be 20 positive interactions for every negative interaction. So imagine how important communicating at the right time and the right things is. Now, that is when things are going great. That's when we are like riding the hormones horse and we are feeling attracted and we are happy and all that. When in conflict, that is when we are in disagreement of something, the ratio changes dramatically. It has to be for every 5 positive interactions, 1 negative interaction. So if we are going to really build a great, healthy relationship where the other one feels respected, men need to feel respected, men need to feel admired, men need to feel appreciated in order to fall in love with us, in order to really create that emotional connection with us, that emotional attraction. So if we want to keep building that and we want to have a conversation at the right time, we have to be mindful of these ratios. It's 5 positive interactions to 1 negative interaction. And I coach my clients with a great tool how to come up with this inside of my Epic Love Accelerator program. So it's very easy. And then with practice, it gets better. So these are some of the things that I want you to start keeping in mind when you are thinking about communicating. Our communication has a lot to do on the results we are going to be creating. So we have to be very mindful. We cannot just say something because we feel in the moment that we have to say it. That is immediate gratification. That is like being on a diet. That is like a woman wanting to lose 10 pounds and feeling that urge to eat the cake, the whole cake, and doing it. Self-sabotaging. So if you find yourself that you are feeling like you have room for growth and you really want to create an incredible relationship with a man in the next 6 months to a year, send me a message. That's what I help women to create inside of my Epic Love Accelerator private coaching program. It's the red carpet of coaching. It's so fabulous. It's fantastic. Women are getting engagement proposals thanks to working with me. They are really getting what they want. And it's time to start doing something consistently about it. Okay? So anyway, I wanted to thank you for joining. Again, if you have any question, type it in the comments and I will get back to you. If you want to know more about my Epic Love Accelerator program, send me a message. I will send you the link so you can apply. It's an application only. I only take 5 women at every given time, at any given time, because it's very personalized, and we are very close during the time we work together. So I only have enough time to hold space for 5 clients at the time individually. This is not group coaching. And the coaching you are going to receive is from me. It's not from a coach that I trained on my blueprint, on my, on my way of doing things. It's with me. So I hear a lot of people say, no, I signed up for a group coaching with this coach and I never even saw her during the group coaching. Well, that's not going to happen. You are going to have one-on-one touch with me. Anyway, thank you so much for showing up. I really admire you and appreciate you. And let me know your thoughts. Send me a message. I am here for you. I read every message. I answer every email, every note. And much love and admiration. Bye.